Welcome, everyone. Welcome all. Thank you so much for your patience. Since 2019, we have not held an in-person event at the for the Ideas Social Innovation Challenge, and now not only are we hosting our first event since the COVID-19 disruption, we're also attempting it hybrid. So that try shoot high, why not? So welcome. I am Rebecca Obunu, and I am your host today. I am the assistant dean of the social innovation programming at the PKG Public Service Center. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us here, and also thank you for those of you who have patiently been waiting on Facebook Live and joining us virtually. If you are on Facebook, please do us a favor and share this video stream on your timeline. And let us know where you're tuning in from. I actually do go back and review it, so I'll comment and like afterward. My colleague is also going to be conversing with you virtually. While this is a celebration of some incredible MIT community members, we cannot forget the somber realities that bring us here today. This year, this ceremony is dedicated to the PKG Center's co-founder, Dr. Shirley McBay, who passed on last year. She was a tireless advocate for equity in education and service. Please join us in honoring her legacy.
Oh, she was one of the grand ladies. She had lots of good ideas. She was dean of students here at MIT, but she just had a way of having an idea and putting it into action, and that's what she done with the center, volunteering and helping in the world is a good habit to form, and if they can help now when they're in the midst of a very busy student life, my dream is that they'll always have time for helping others that need them. And I think that was what Shirley, I think that dream was Shirley's also. That it was a good habit to form now, and it would tide them over their whole lives. So, grand idea, and you people are carrying on and making it happen. She certainly knew what the world needed, and I think Shirley would be pleased. I think she'd congratulate the students, and she just urged them upwards and onwards.
We are grateful for the likes of Dr. McBay. Dr. McBay blazed trails for others to pave roads. It's been my joy shepherding our social innovation efforts at the PKG Public Service Center, particularly the MIT Ideas Social Innovation Challenge alongside my PKG colleagues. We've turned what's been known as a competition into a robust academic program both practical and academic. It's in line with PKG Center's values of providing students ethics-rooted, rigorous, experiential learning opportunities. I invite you to visit our page to view the 200+ teams that we have awarded over the last 20 years and to listen to some of their stories via the limited series podcast that we released last year during our 20th year anniversary. With that, I would like to turn the floor over to the PKG Center Associate Dean and Director, Jill Bassett.
Thank you, Rebecca, and a hearty hello to all of you. It is so exciting and wonderful to be here in person and also be joined by folks online. And let's give a round of applause for Rebecca and the Ideas team and the PKG staff for all your glorious work you've done. We're so happy to have you here. And a big thank you to all of you for your participation in this celebration. Over the last 21 years, Ideas has awarded over $1.1 million to over 200 teams addressing societal and environmental challenges globally. Incredibly, through the work of our extraordinary student-led teams, Ideas has impacted over 2.5 million people over the years. This kind of impact would not be possible without the commitment of many, including many of you in this room today. We want to honor the individuals and the organizations that have made the Ideas program possible. So I would like to thank this year's generous sponsors, our fabulous reviewers, our dedicated mentors. Hands, yes, applause for everyone. Our impressive jury of judges. Our incredible Tackling Social Change Finalist Seminar Series speakers. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Our teams, and every one of our talented PKG Center colleagues. With that, it is a true delight to introduce this year's keynote speaker, Malia Lazu, the CEO and founder of the Lazu Group, which formerly was known as Urban Labs, a multicultural agency helping brands see returns on diversity. Malia is an award-winning seasoned strategist in diversity and inclusion who has sparked deep economic development and investment in urban entrepreneurship for over 20 years, much like Ideas. Malia began her career as a political organizer and bridge builder who founded Mass Vote, a statewide voter engagement campaign. She has led culture-shifting campaigns for the actor and civil rights activist Harry Belafonte, as well as businessmen and philanthropists like Peter Lewis and George Soros. Previously, in the capacity of Executive Vice President and Regional President at Berkshire Bank, Malia worked to generate wealth for communities by expanding access to capital and spurring economic growth, especially in communities of color that have traditionally been left behind. In her first 9 months at Berkshire, Malia evolved a $13 billion bank strategic focus beyond traditional community banking services to prioritize tangible community impact. She helped to diversify the board of directors, developed a suite of financial products and programs that support entrepreneurs of color, and launched ReveX Labs, a collaborative workspace and innovation hub for the urban startup community. As if that were not enough, Malia
God, why did they send a long one?
We keep it going. We keep it going. We're so happy to have you here.
My mother also loves me, you guys.
We'll give her a challenge today. Malia is a serial entrepreneur who has created and led a large number of socially responsible business accelerators across Boston. She worked with the City of Boston to create Accelerate Boston, which helped launch over 20 minority businesses in its first 5 years, and she continues to help minority entrepreneurs raise capital. Malia also was the founder and president of the Future Boston Alliance, now known as Epicenter, which built an ecosystem of creators, consumers, and investors to develop businesses in the creative industries. And now for the part that Malia's mother would really love. Malia was named one of Essence Magazine's 50 Founders to Watch in 2017, Boston Business Journal's Women Who Mean Business in 2019, and Boston Magazine's The 100 Most Influential Bostonians in 2021. Welcome, Malia.
Thank you. And it's true, Jill, my mom has all of those. She's my archivist. I send her these things so someone will have the receipts for when I can tell my grandchildren someday, you know, I did something with myself. Thank you so much for inviting me here. It's so great to see this many diverse faces at MIT and to know that we're all here to talk about how do we make the world a better place. Before I came up here, I was noticing we were sort of clapping a little half-heartedly. So I want to get our energy up a little bit. So I want you to look to the person next to you and say, I'm a social entrepreneur. And I'm innovating a successful, thriving future for all of us. Come on. I come from a call and response church, so I will stand up here until it happens. Now the plate will be passed around, throw in. No. I want to thank Rebecca and Jill for this wonderful invitation to join you all. And I also need to take a moment to honor Shirley McBay. Walking into these halls as a lecturer, if there's ever a time that you want to feel imposter syndrome, I can't imagine what she must have felt not having the wind in her back the way so many of us. Rebecca, as you said, she trailblazed, right? And we're more path walking, right? But she was out there with a machete, right? She was out there blazing that trail. And that takes a certain type of personality. Just because you're oppressed does not mean that you will blaze a trail to your freedom. Harriet Tubman has a quote that some people say she didn't say, whatever. I think she thought it if she didn't say it. But she said, I freed 1,000 slaves and I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew they were slaves. And we know these stories of enslaved people being scared, right, to leave the plantation, to try for their freedom because life seemed more important than risking for freedom. And so here comes Shirley McBay walking into these illustrious elite halls, globally elite, like we're not even elite for the US, right? We're elite for everybody. And she decides that she's going to make a difference. As the Institute's Dean of Social Affairs, she led to identify and address obstacles in the institutional's racial environment that hindered the success from underrepresented students or underserved communities. She issued a report in 1986 that I want to ask everyone in here to Google and find. You can find it, it's a PDF, it's right on our site. And that report was entitled, The Racial Climate on the MIT Campus. And it was produced under her direction and had a lot of recommendations that led to another important initiative that she started and directed, the Quality Education for Minorities Project. I'd like all of you to just take a look and see how far have we come? Or is it similar? Does it feel the same? I'll tell you as a lecturer of color here who works with a lot of students and faculty, it sounded really familiar. It felt familiar. And so at a place that honors social innovation, I think we can be honest in saying our work is needed now, and we might not be as good at it as we in fact think we are. So it's an honor to not only stand in front of you here today, but to stand here while we're honoring such an amazing organizer. As you heard in that lengthy bio, I started my career as a community organizer, starting an organization called Mass Vote when I was 19 years old, going to Emerson College, no judgment. And I'm a communicator, that's why I'm in front of you here. And I came here and I wanted to have a hip hop concert in Boston Commons. And I was told that Boston doesn't give permits for hip hop concerts. And by the way, still doesn't. And so I decided that I was gonna vote out Mayor Menino. Yeah, I was 19, okay? I was like, well, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of people to vote and we're gonna get you out, old man. 30 years later. But what it did was it allowed me to learn what an organizer is, what it means to take responsibility for change. Because again, not everyone does that. And no judgment if you don't. It's really okay to want to live a life, right? Like that's okay. But there's a few of us, probably a lot in this room, that there's a calling that we have to make this world a better place. The way we think about our ideas include others. We're as excited about living in a world that will last for generations as we are about our nice-ass boat that we're gonna buy when we get rich, right? We're as excited about looking at triple bottom lines. And so what I wanna do today is to share my thoughts around what it means to be a social innovator and a social entrepreneur, and what ways can you become the best at being committed to make this planet better than when you found it. So all of you have been here working on your projects, pitching your businesses, getting awards. Let's give you a round of applause. Because what you're proof of is no matter how bad it may seem, no matter how low and dark you may be in that valley, that we have hope. We all hear, some people may say, oh, you're optimistic, you're hopeful. Take it. But what it means is that we believe we can repair the outcomes of global exploitation. That's intense, right? Repair the outcomes of global exploitation in housing, in financing, in civic space. Incredible. An incredible hubris for all of us to take it on, and bravo to us for doing so. But what does that actually mean to be a social entrepreneur? Well, to paraphrase Google, all of it, it says social entrepreneurs create businesses that will directly and positively affect a social issue. Their social mission is core to part of their business and brand. Amen? Right? That sounds right. I like that. Now, let's think about what it means socially. Right? Social entrepreneurs, what we're saying is that we have an answer that is helpful, and you should follow us. We have ideas that will change the world for the better, and you should trust us in that. And that's what's so exciting about this work, especially when it's true. Especially when our ideas actually are equitable. Especially when our ideas actually can change the world for better. So when we think about what it means socially to say, I am an entrepreneur that's going to affect change, I couldn't let this moment go without taking some time to talk about what it actually means to stand up and lead in an equitable way. Now, I know because of this very challenge that each of you have some type of leadership mission statement, whether you know it or not. I can tell you for me, most of my mission is based in the Kingian nonviolent organizing that I was given as a young person working for Harry Belafonte. And you've probably thought about what are your attributes that actually make you a worthy social entrepreneur. And have you thought about beyond your business model, beyond the brand, is your heart ready to be a social entrepreneur? Are you ready to listen and learn from the communities most affected? Are you ready to let them lead your company? Are you ready to take on the challenges that capitalism offers us when we're saying we want to be a social entrepreneur? I ask myself these questions every day because at the end of the day, you can have intention to do good. And we all know the roads that intention paves. Well, you might not. It's the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You might not have had my grandma, but we know that good intentions do not always lead to impact. So do you have the capacity to build impact in your social business? I hope so. You're asking us to believe in it, and I believe you do. So how do we check our egos? How do we push back against uninformed definitions of success? What does it mean to positively affect a social issue? As someone who does DE&I work, when I read that sentence, I get scared. It's fraught with bias, right? Positively affect. Who decides that? Who decides what the positive effects are? Affecting a social issue. Who defines what that social issue is? Do I, as an able-bodied person, get to define the communities with disability social issues? Or do I let them tell me this is our social issues? I mean, how we define the problem matters, especially when you're doing social entrepreneurship work. So for example, if I were to ask, well, why are people hungry? And my answer doesn't start with global exploitation, I'm not gonna build an equitable company, right? I mean, at the worst, my answer is, well, people are being exploited in it, or at best, and at worst, they're lazy. They can't get it together, right? So how you even define the social issue you are working to change matters. There's a measure of our bias every time we want to take on these issues. And so it's important for us to check ourselves, to reflect, and be as honest, authentic, and humble as possible when we do this work. So I want to talk a little bit about my audacious vision and my leadership mission. And I think there's 3 areas. Of course, there's 3. There's always 3 in a speech. I think there's 3 areas that are important to think about. The first is integrity, your integrity and the integrity of your brand. We were talking earlier, it's hard, right, to think about business when the model is free labor and stolen lands, right? And that's quite a business model that we're trying to uplift. But so what is our integrity? And this mattered incredibly when I became a bank president. I had $1 billion P&L, right? I was sitting nicely. I not only was a bank president, but I was also in the C-suite. So I was overseeing multiple departments in this multi-state bank. And it would have been easy to have just called that my success. I made it, right? Like, oh, it works because it worked for me. But what I knew from my work of working with small businesses was that I was being let into a room that for over 200 years has worked to exploit the people who look like me and my very family. That my grandfather and my grandfathers were not given the same access when they came home from World War II, which is why one of my grandfathers has a house in Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey, and another one grew up in Harlem, right? Because they were given different access. My father and mother were given different access from the moment they were conceived. So this idea of me making it into a bank as a success story is a joke. What I needed to prove was that I could get my bank to actually become reparative, to actually admit that that the 5 C's are nothing but structural bias. How I look at your capacity, how I look at your character, how I look at your credit score. I'm asking you for collateral, yet every generation I steal your wealth. Fraught with bias. And so I decided that my success is I live in Roxbury, so like I have to go back to my community every day, and I wanted them high-fiving me for getting this job, right? It was great that the BBJ did it, but I wanted the community to be like, oh, yes, sis, we got you in the bank, right? I wanted them to feel that pride. And that's what led us to being the first bank in Massachusetts to offer community underwriting. 0 considerations for loans for MBEs. Zero considerations. We were also the first bank to respond to the COVID crisis, having a fund and that included a line of credit before Baker even announced his. We were the first bank in the state to do non-customer PPP loans. Why? Because to me, this is how we showed our commitment. This is how we showed our integrity. It wasn't enough for us to just say, well, look, we hired Malia, we must mean it. But for us to actually take those actions, and trust me, we got pushback, right? And the CEO of the bank, he would be asked, how long are you going to do this for? Right? So it wasn't easy, but your integrity allows you to make the right decisions. The second point is your community. Who's holding you accountable? We joked about my mom earlier, and God bless her, right? But she's not the one who should be holding me accountable for the work I do in community, right? The community should. So are you surrounding yourself in power positions, people who could veto a decision you want to make? How much are you actually holding yourself accountable when you look at your businesses? And are you centering the people closest to the problem? Are they center to your power? And the last is your journey. How do you continue to be a better person every day? How do you expand your heart so that every day your biases get less and less? Quickly, a personal journey of mine. Several years ago, I would not be standing up here with this hairstyle. I was raised from a generation that was told that I should straighten my hair because that's what makes me look professional and put together, and I believed that. I was microaggressing myself because I thought that I could not come and stand in here in front of you and have you take me seriously if my hair looked ethnic, is what, and I'm talking black women told me this when they were first straightening my hair, putting lye on it to get it straight. They were explaining to me, we're doing this so that you're more acceptable. And thank goodness for the younger generations who were like, sis, you need to put some water on that because we're not doing that anymore. And I began to understand that I still have my journey and that here I was for years microaggressing myself, telling myself that I did not look professional if I looked ethnic. And I'm pretty light, right? I recognize my colorism. And I still had that story in my head. So what is the journey that you need to go on? Where do you need to expand? Where do you need to challenge your own privileges? Because your heart, when you're a social entrepreneur, is your secret sauce. Your heart is going to let you make those moves, become a first mover in markets, because you're going to trust it and you're going to know that you're speaking truth. So you all are brilliant. You all are amazing, and you should be here helping us change the world. Social good has not fared well in business, and it takes a fortitude of leadership like yours to get it done. I wish you all the best in your journey. I look forward to seeing who's going to get the awards, and I send you off with my heart wide open. Namaste.
Wow. Whew, thank you. I mean, Malia, I knew your remarks would be moving, but you always exceed my expectations. Thank you so much. Having you here today could not be more fitting and more meaningful. And I was just glancing back at the finalists. I think it landed with y'all. And you would think I scripted this. I did not, because this theme of privilege it's come up in the Tackling Social Change seminar series across our speakers, and each time I told them that I didn't script this, so this was not scripted. So I hope that you're taking this message with you on the journeys that y'all are embarking, and y'all are so amazing. It's been such a privilege for me to get to work with you. And for those of you who are in the audience, if you have not yet come across Malia's Sloan webinar series that she curated called the Inclusive Innovation Economy, I I couldn't recommend it more highly. I learned so much. We'll be sure to share it with you after as well. So, if you joined our award ceremony last year, you saw us award Juried grants to teams Sustainable C, Critical Healthcare Information Integration Network, Kivuli, and the Knowledge Institute SASA. We're pleased to report that despite continued disruption of COVID-19, these teams have all had great traction. Here's what they have to say about their progress to date.
Hi, my name is Shai Aweja. I'm one of the co-founders of CHIN, the Critical Healthcare Information Integration Network. We're a nonprofit whose mission is to strengthen primary healthcare systems by empowering community health workers with information technology. Pretty soon after we won our award, we brought on a few additional physician advisors and collaborators from Nigeria, our main country of focus, to help us curate the content that we provide in our platform. After completing our pilot in late 2020, we launched another program. This program was focused on providing maternal and community health workers in 4 states in Northeast Nigeria. In total, our platform has reached nearly 300 community health workers who have collectively sent and received over 50,000 messages, resulting in 4,600 answered queries that have provided actionable information for their work.
Hi, I'm Ben.
I'm Radhika.
And we are the co-founders at Kivuli. When we started the company, we were focused on building all different kinds of products. Since then, we've decided to focus in on the production of steel casement windows, which is a product that's really common in Nairobi, but is not built to the highest quality standards. So we've spent a lot of time prototyping different products and developing a production process so that low-skilled artisans can build really beautiful steel casement windows, which are a common feature of the Nairobi architecture landscape, and sell those products to high-end, large-scale developers.
So one of the things that we've been doing is in-depth market research. So during the ideas competition, we spoke to a number of people in the construction industry who are interested in our approach. And we have since carried out even more market research to kind of validate the gaps that we thought we could fill with Kivuli. Generally, we have found that steel casement windows can in fact be cheaper, of a better quality, and better designed than many imported products.
A big part of Kivuli is to establish a place for artisans of many different skill levels to participate in the company, build skills that they can use outside of their interactions with us. And so in looking into that further, we realized that Nairobi has a really strong and established network of technical training schools. So we met a lot of those people, visited a lot of schools, and we found that a lot of them are really interested in developing their curricula so that they can have pathways for students to come to Kivuli, contribute to our production, and work with us.
Yeah, and so now we're just thinking about how to move forward. So we've got the paperwork for Kivuli pretty much settled, and we're about to register the business in the coming month. And we hope to, as I mentioned earlier, finish our prototype by the end of the year and start contracts by early next year.
No, and just lastly, we're so grateful to Ideas for giving us the support to start this off. We wouldn't be here at all without the program, and we're just thrilled to be working on this. We really love it. We love Kenya and being in Nairobi, and really see a lot of potential in what we're doing, and feel all the more confident and excited having worked on this more.
Hello, my name is Chandratu Lamini, and I go by Shakes. I am one of the co-founders of SASA, which is an online platform that enables swift, secure, and affordable application to higher education in Eswatini. SASA is taken from the Siswati word Ligu Sasa, which means the future. Since then, we have taken advantage of other opportunities for mentorship and funding in assorting it through the Real Science and Technology Park Incubator, and here at MIT through VMS and MIT Sandbox. And then in November, we had a 2-day workshop with the largest institutions from around the Eswatini to discuss how the application process could be improved and break down barriers to access for all applicants. We then launched a campaign to visit individual institutions to learn about their unique challenges and needs. And since the beginning of this year, we have continued to develop the platform in preparation for the 2022 application season. We are immensely grateful to the PhD Center for all that they've done for us and the funding that they gave us to kickstart this process.
So Shayo couldn't join us today. He wrote me and told me he contracted COVID. But we have Shakes in the room here today. Do you want to stand so we can just acknowledge you? We have other teams from other years as well. So I would love for you all to stand too, including Audace from Insightive and Nebu oh gosh, forgive me, my brain, but EDC, just, stand up. These are our teams from other years too, and I'm so thrilled you're here. And and Kritisha, you're from also from a previous year, so thank you for being here. All right, so now the moment of truth. We will now begin the awards presentation at this time. But first, maybe a bit about our cohort. It is diverse in every manner of the word, from the sectors to the projects addressing that are being addressed, addressing different sectors, and then the gender participation, leadership, and entity types. So we've got projects ranging from for-profits to academic research initiatives to media arts. Each team has been awarded a seed grant of $1,000 already. And so today, 6 teams will just receive additional funding. So all of these teams are quote unquote winners. I don't like to say winners. I'm always a word cop about that. This is about building the cohort. It's about your journey, your experience, and celebrating that. It's a learning journey for all of us, like Malia just said to us. So 4 teams will receive grants ranging between $7,500 and $20,000. 2 teams that are not receiving the Juried grants will receive a $2,500 crowd favorite grant by way of over 2,600 votes on our virtual showcase. We are grateful for our continued partnership with MIT Solve, our platform sponsor, now for 3 consecutive years. Today, we're thrilled to be joined by our crowd favorite award sponsor, the Public Interest Registry. Anand Vora, Vice President of Business Affairs, and Antonio Gomez, Director of Strategic Relationships, will announce the 2 recipient teams of this year's crowd favorite awards.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, Rebecca, Jill, thank you for the opportunity, and the team too. And Malia, you have given all of us, especially me, something to think about, even not just from a social entrepreneurship point of view, but my personal mission and vision. So I'm definitely going to go back and rethink what I want to do. So as you said, I'm Anand Vora.
Hi, I'm Antonio. I'm also an MIT alum from Sloan. And today, we are representing the Public Interest Registry. We are the owners and the operators of the .org domain name globally.
So it's a pleasure to be here. It's humbling and encouraging to see all of you change makers over here, right? And as Antonio said, we power the .orgs of the world. So we have about 10.6 million .orgs around the world. And it's events and challenges like these that we get to meet you guys face to face and understand and truly see the impact all of you guys are having. One thing, and I've been in this line for 12 years, one thing that I have seen is the line between doing good and doing good financially is blurring. It isn't exclusive, and it's you guys that are making that happen. So, it's amazing and it's humbling to be here.
Congratulations to everyone that participated, as well as all the grant recipients. We're gonna start now announcing the crowd favorites. So this team earned over 800 votes in the virtual showcase. Sahara for Education's mission is to expand educational opportunities between Sudan and the United States. The team advances pivotal projects to support quality education, both virtual and in person, for students from diverse backgrounds in Sudan. The team behind Sahara for Education hopes to expand their work with 3 impactful program models: university course partnerships, the Sahara Learning Hub, and new innovation labs. The 2500 Crowd Favorite Award can cover the cost of 250 students to have quality access to engaging virtual education.
Congratulations. Now we're going to do the consecutive one. Now to the second crowd favorite. This team earned over 300 votes in the virtual showcase. Humanity has witnessed water-based displacement caused by large-scale water infrastructures. The Making Water Visible documentary aims to bring attention to people-centered means of managing and organizing water infrastructure to address water equity. This documentary aims to capture live experiences in Pune, India, and voices of water sector experts to create social change. It explores 3 questions. There's always 3s, right? How can various media create and restore sustainable nature-culture relationships? How can we build on traditional water systems to enable decentralized access? And how can rethinking mental models inform governance structures? One comment from the public reads, and this it's true for me too: terrific endeavor, excited to see it happen in my birthplace. The public has spoken, and we are excited to present the $2,500 Crowd Favorite Awards to Sahara and Making Water Visible. Please come to the stage and big round of applause to everyone. This is the 139.
Congratulations, Sahara for Education and Making Water Visible, Puna's water systems. I think we can do a little bit better with the applause. Yeah, yes. Awesome. So you may now take your seats. So I'm thrilled to announce several surprise grants, actually, this year, via our continued collaborations with our colleagues at MIT Solve, via the Solve Ed program. These grants have no bearing on today's crowd favorite or juried grant announcements. Solve Ed seeks to inspire and support young people to create solutions to challenges in their communities and the world. Through the Solve Ed exploratory and prototyping microgrants made possible by the Posen Social Innovation Prize, the program seeks to reduce the financial barriers to solution design, development, and implementation. The following 4 teams have been selected to receive $600 microgrants: Birth by Us is working on a solution that is using data and technology to empower birthing people to make decisions about their own health and birthing experience. And this solution has the potential to make an incredible impact on a community of people that is underserved. The team has done an astounding job of centering humans in the design and implementation of their solution. BrakeCheck is building a life-saving solution to an otherwise unaddressed problem affecting drivers, passengers, and pedestrians. SolveEd is excited about the amount of research that has been done already to justify the need and feasibility of this solution. The grant will support the team's continued work on this very important problem. 1 Million Legs is currently in the prototyping phase of its solution development, designing a low-cost plantar pressure sensor intended for use by healthcare workers in low-resource settings to assess the risk of lower extremity amputation in diabetic patients. The microgrant will support further developing and testing of the prototype in the field with healthcare workers and potential patients. Solar Capital is building a technology with numerous use cases that is powered by solar energy. Solar Capital's team is thoughtfully considering the potential benefits and risks of their technology to ensure their solution has the intended impact. Now, if these teams could just stand up so that we can acknowledge you and celebrate you. Congratulations. All right, next, we are about to get into the Juried grant announcement segment. So, a longtime IDEA supporter, Danielle Lemack, is joining us again this year, thank you, to present this year's $7,500 award. Without further ado, Danielle.
Thank you all very much for having me here. Phenomenal event, as always. It always is. Rebecca, Jill, congratulations. Malia, very inspiring. I don't really know how to follow anywhere near after you, but definitely inspiring. So I'm here on behalf of the Judy LaRock Camilla Fund. Judy was my mom, and she was a social entrepreneur in her own way. She grew up in the 60s and was a teenager then and loved technology and entrepreneurship. And I think building a little bit on what Malia was saying, when she started her career, obviously she's my mom, and was passed over for promotions. And in those days, they point blank just said, "You're a woman, you don't need the money, we're not giving you the promotion." So we still have a long ways to go, but you know what? We have made some progress, and so I'm so excited to see all of you here doing this. Mom would be thrilled to know that her name is being used to support the ideas that you're bringing to the world to make the world a better place. And I know our family is excited to be able to continue to do this. You inspire us. Thank you all for what you're doing. Every year I feel like it's a thanks. This year is especially a huge thanks. And I wish you all the best of luck and continue to follow along on your journey because we need you. So thank you. So I am excited to announce the first Juried grant, the $7,500 award. The judges said the following about this team. It is a fabulous idea whose greatest strength lies in its understanding of how the current process of post-harvest grain distribution works in India and how to fill the substantial hole in the process as it relates to smallholder farmers. This team aims to optimize the post-harvest value chain by decentralizing the storage infrastructure and market connectivity for the smallholder farmers in rural India. The team envisions GrainBox to be accessible to all smallholder farmers. The flexibility of the innovation's design would enable fast deployment of infrastructure. This solution has the potential to address similar problems faced in many developing countries. I am very happy to present the $7,500 award to Grain Bowl. Please come up to the stage. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you to the jury members who felt that we have the responsibility to take this entrepreneurship project forward. And we are really excited about this project, and also because it's it's an opportunity and a responsibility for us to like support the smallholder farmers who have fed us. So we feel like this is a great opportunity, and we're really humbled to get this. Especially for me, I started my journey at MIT with ideas and with Rebecca, and I feel like this is a huge, and I'm sort of like graduating this year, so it's like a whole circle come true, and it's a long way to go. And thank you so much.
I can probably add to thank one of our community members who's also part of our team, Vishala from Millet Bank. She was the startup initiated from a project that came to us to build a warehouse for a group of farmers in a village in India. And that is what led to this startup, and a series of projects are following. So we are really happy to have her also in the team. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yes, yes. Clearly, I'm very excited for this team. Next, I am pleased to introduce these two longtime IDEA supporters, Victor Tom and Sewin Kuo. I sat next to Victor at the education table at one of the Ideas Generator events the day before my final interviews for this role. And fast forward, here we are today. He and Sewin have humbly served in almost every capacity I have ever asked them to volunteer since I've come aboard. So Victor and Sewin will present this year's $10,000 Juried Grant Award. And without further ado, Victor and Sewin, thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. And Malia, that was fantastic. I'll need to talk with you afterwards. I'm Victor Tom, class of 72, course 6.
And I'm Sewin Kuo, class of 73, and course 18, and currently on the board of the MIT Alumni Association.
I'm proud to wear this red jacket for the very first time. Emblematic of 50 years since I graduated from MIT. We both have been involved in Rotary, whose ideals, service above self, and focus areas are synergistic with the PKG Center and the Ideas program. We're both so honored to be here today. It was back in 2014 that we first volunteered to be reviewers.
And we continue being involved ever since. We saw that your Ideas team, and with the Ideas staff, were able to take challenges, create change, and make the world a better place. We have devoted our lives to service, and through our involvement with Rotary and MIT can help you build connections to help move your solutions forward. Tap into your ideas, your passion, and your connections. Let us make a better world. Yay. This team received nearly 300 votes in our virtual showcase. The judges said the following about this team. They have established that there is a tremendous need across the community for this offering. The financial literacy component and especially offering that to everyone, is so impactful and can truly make a tremendous difference. They are very realistic about their challenge. They have a great partnership, and we're passionate and dedicated to making this work.
This project is a two-sided marketplace that helps borrowers and lenders match with each other across emerging economies in Latin America. It simplifies and personalizes the experience of shopping for loans from beginning to end, allowing borrowers to compare online options seamlessly and quickly. This online marketplace also helps financial institutions such as fintechs, banks, and other non-banks offer customers the loans they need. Congratulations, 5N. Please approach the stage to accept your Juried Grand Award of $10,000.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're speechless. And yeah, we're both very passionate about this problem. We met 1 year ago, and we have been talking about the idea. We have been working a lot, meeting a lot of people, and definitely ideas. The PKG Center has been really helpful. They have inspired us, and meeting all the other teams also have been pushing us to continue working towards our goal, towards our passion.
And just very quickly, there cannot be true equality until everybody has access to financial literacy and products. And that's our mission. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well said, and congratulations, Ivan. All right, next up is someone you have already heard from and needs no introduction. To present the $15,000 Juried Grant Award, Malia Lazu.
I'm so glad I got to get in on the award giving. So the judges said this about the following team. This has compelling potential for impact. The students seem to be the right people for this work. They bring the background, passion, and commitment to follow through. They had a balanced project addressing all ideas criteria. U.S. maternal mortality has more than doubled in the last 25 years, disproportionately affecting Black women and birthing people who are currently 3 to 4 times more likely to die of childbirth than their white counterparts. Many Black women and expecting parents feel disempowered. Similarly, maternal care providers feel lost about how to provide and improve the quality of care. Birth by Us supports expecting parents, specifically those who have been systemically oppressed, in regaining the feeling of control around their birth journey through personalized resources and health insights. For providers, Birth by Us takes the guesswork out of improvement by turning patients' feedback into comprehensive routine quality reports placed with valuable resources. So I am thrilled to present this $15,000 award to Birth by Us. Come on up here and accept your award. And I also have a local doula company I want to connect you with, Couple Sisters. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I first and foremost want to thank my co-founder, Ijoma Uche, who's watching on Facebook Live. Thank both of our parents, our families. Thank the ESG Center, PKG Center, VMS, Sandbox, everybody, I'm forgetting all these names, but I think this is a really important problem, and that if we can actually solve it, we can have tremendous impact for a lot of communities, specifically those who've been underserved and underrepresented. So it really means a lot to me as a Black woman as well. Thank you.
Amazing. Woo! Congratulations, Birth by Us. For those of you celebrating with us today, both in person and on Facebook, we are so looking forward to another 20 years of cultivating student social innovators and entrepreneurs. And I would be remiss, as director of the PKG Center, if I didn't let you know that we raise all this money and we welcome your continued support and are putting a link in the Facebook Live if you are so moved to donate. There you go. Moving on to the grand finale here. This team garnered 674 votes in the virtual showcase. The judges said the following about this team. They have identified two underserved communities, low-income consumers and fragmented informal workers. They are invested and willing to work with these groups after doing a learning pilot with 8 homes that they have helped build. The members are clearly passionate and fully aware about the future challenges. They've identified a real problem, and they have a solution that they can achieve with economies of scale. Affordable housing in Colombia is generally delivered with basic to no finishes at all. Owners take years to finish their units as they struggle to find financing, design, and accessible construction options. Leveraging technology and innovation, Acavis is completing affordable housing in Colombia by connecting owners with potential lenders and providing design and construction services through a one-stop web-based solution. This ultimately enables low-income homeowners to finish their units in a meaningful way while demolishing the constraints they face today when accessing quality housing. I am absolutely thrilled on behalf of all of us here at Ideas in the PKG Center to present the $20,000 Juried Grant Award to Acavis. Please come join us. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're very excited. Thank you for PKG Ideas team for organizing this event and for giving us the opportunity to present our idea. And it's been a very rewarding experience collaborating with other teams and gaining a different perspective through a social lens. And carrying this forward, we look forward to having a broader impact on low-income families in Colombia and also throughout the world. And yeah, thank you again.
And we cannot wait to help this community and set up a new standard for the emerging middle class, and we're excited for that. Thank you so much for everything.
Congratulations, Team Acavis. Well, so all teams will work on their projects over the summer and report back by the start of next semester. Additionally, they will have guidance from the PKG Center and our incredible Ideas 2022 summer cohort mentors. And I think we have a mentor here today. Robin, where are you? Robin, stand up. You're one of the mentors. So welcome. Thank you. So the Juried grant recipients will focus on implementing their projects over the next 16 months and beyond, and we will maintain regular contact with them during that time period and however long we can. And major kudos to all of our finalists. They're honestly, all of you, this was, I can't tell you, all of the judges came back, they took this, they took this to heart. We have some judges here today, you can talk to them. It was difficult. In fact, Malia's been a judge before in the past. It's a difficult task. So that speaks to just how amazing y'all are. And we look forward to supporting you as you proceed along your paths. It's a personal pleasure to meet each of you and to see your growth. And I continue to grow every year that I do this. And so for any MIT students joining us either physically or virtually or viewing later, we invite you to further engage with the PKG Center. So we have social impact internships. We also have fellowship programs. And then of course there's ideas. For all guests joining us today, please consider serving as an Ideas volunteer or hosting an undergraduate social impact intern. And you can visit our website. You can also follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we're there. And thank you everyone for coming. And in the words of PKG herself.
I would say 3 cheers for them. There's nothing like an MIT student.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Program is adjourned. Thank you.